I'm on a mission to find the most extreme 5.56 load available, so I brought out the top contenders as well as several different barriers to find out. First up, we have a 1/4 inch piece of mild steel, and I'm thinking if the most basic bitch of all 5.56 loads can go through, we don't need to waste all the more expensive ones. By the way, I'll be getting a chronograph reading for each of the rounds, at least on round 1 out of our 18-inch PWS right here. This thing is freaking sweet, but anyway, 31.48. It's actually pretty impressive out of an 18-inch, because I think it was only rated for 32.40 out of a 24-inch, I'm guessing. And just what I expected, a clean hole on 1/4 inch with the M193. So that means we don't need to test any of the other rounds on here, but let's see if the M193, aka the most basic bitch 5.56 load, can go through 3/8 of an inch. Of mild steel, that is. Yes, I was aiming down in that corner to make some room for all the other rounds that we'll be shooting. Hey Terry, anyway, let's check out and see. Oh yeah, there is definitely not a hole in that pit. I guess an 1/8 inch is just enough to make the M193 not go through. So unfortunately, that means it's disqualified from any further steel testing. But what about 62 grain trophy bonded bear claw? These bullets were used by the FBI for some time, and according to several forum guys, they are the best blind barrier bullet for the 5.56, so they must be good. Good shot placement right above the M193. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think that went through for sure. Disqualified, at least from any further steel testing. But how about the M855? Huge thanks to OpticsPlanet for hooking me up with these and the M193s. And if you're needing hooked up with anything, code BANANA saves 7%. And it also really helps out the channel. So that one definitely had a POI shift, definitely not where I was aiming, but I mean, at least it didn't stack on top of the others. We got lucky there, but check out the, oh, that is a freaking clean hole through 3/8 of an inch. That is crazy. Moving on, since the M855 was not disqualified, and a big thanks to Ian for sending this next round. Everybody give him a hand real quick. Thanks, Ian. Mark 318 Mod 1 SOST. This is kind of a weird one because it really doesn't have any penetrator to speak of, but it does have a nickel jacket along with a reverse copper bullet, which is a very strange design, but supposedly, according to the description at least, it offers superior penetration on barriers. Wait, what's this? Not for use in 223 chambered guns. Oh, what do they know? Just kidding, it's a 223 wild chambered gun. But does that mean it went through? Because if you've seen any of my other videos, copper is pretty hit or miss, and this time it was definitely a miss. So you are disqualified from any further steel testing. Up next, we have Carl Gustav. Well, not Carl himself, but this is a Swedish bullet apparently, and that name doesn't sound Swedish at all to me. But anyway, this is a 62 grain penetrator, just like the M855. The difference is there's nothing marking it saying that it would be a penetrator, so you kind of just have to know. Luckily, EMACS Tactical was nice enough to send these, as well as give a cross section of what the bullet looks like inside, and apparently it's constructed of 2 different steel segments. I'm not sure of the hardness on them, but they take up the whole entire bullet, so this might make it an extreme penetrator, just like me. And according to some of the forums online, if these bullets were produced before 2011, which these ones were, they produced toxic fumes, so I gotta be extra cautious with not breathing this one in. I'm just going to call it, at least through the scope, that one looked like it went straight through, but let's check it out. Definitely a tinier hole than all the other ones. And, I mean, you could see that it left most of the jacket behind, but we definitely got a freaking nice looking hole through there. And we do have a couple more extreme 5.56 loads, but I think we'll save them for the next piece of steel, you know, since both of these penetrators went straight through. No sense in wasting them. One of them costs $120 a piece. And this next piece is something we have never seen on this channel, but I'm very curious to see how it compares to mild steel. A 3/8 inch piece of stainless, guys. Supposedly this has much better wear resistance than mild steel over here, and I don't think I'm going to paint this one because it should look pretty freaking cool with bullet holes in it. Alright, let's see how it compares. Starting with the regular M855, I guess. See, the problem with shooting 7 different types of ammo is that you're probably going to run into a point of impact shift, and that's definitely what I'm noticing with the M855. Initially, the crosshairs were right over here, and they were shooting pretty far to the left, but I didn't think that was necessarily the scope, so I shot another one a little higher up, and I mean, it was definitely pretty consistent. Anyway, I had to aim all the way over here to hit right here, so let's check out that shot and see. Okay, it went straight through. We're not doing stainless anymore. We are moving up to a 3/8 inch piece of AR 500 steel. This stuff is hardened armor. Well, basically, it's used in heavy-duty equipment and stuff like that, but it's what's used for targets as well. So let's see if any of them have a chance of going through that. All right, let's see if that does any better. With the M855 again, now that I know where to freaking aim. I don't know how to describe the smell, but it smells very smelly, almost like burning paint or something, but definitely did not go through. I could see that from a mile away, but I mean, it did leave a little dent on AR 500, which is somewhat impressive, but you're still disqualified from any further steel testing. Time to break out Carl again. Gustav. I hope I'm saying that right. There's that damn smell again, but anyway, even after hitting, what is that, about a 1/4 inch from the last hole, maybe a little bit further apart, freaking barely did anything more than the M855. Come on, Carl, now you're disqualified. Up next, we have a super special treat, the M855A1. A big thanks to EMACS Tactical for sending these ones over. And unlike any of the other rounds on this list, the M855A1 has an exposed steel tip. And according to my experience, exposed tips are much better for penetration. What? Luckily, that one hit right where I was aiming, but let's check out and see. Oh, nice crater there. That doesn't mean that it necessarily did not go through. Let's check out the back, though. Yeah, it definitely did not go through, but that is much more damage than either of the other either of the other bullet types. Still disqualified. On to our supposed spiciest round of the day, the Raug, if that's how you say it, 5.56 by 45 APTC. With its spice comes a price, and holy shit are these things expensive. Thanks yet again to EMACS Tactical for supplying these ones. What separates these ones from the rest of the pack is their tungsten core, and in case you don't know, tungsten is extremely hard. Question is, does hardness offer more pleasurable penetration than an exposed tip? Oh, we are definitely answering the world's questions today because it appears like hardness is much better than an exposed tip. Pretty freaking sure I can see something back there. What? Oh my gosh. It was freaking close to going through because there's a little dent back here. But I mean, you cannot argue with that performance. That is way freaking more than any of the other cartridges. But for the price, you know, I would have thought I would have went through that. Actually, I'm really curious to see how much mild steel that round could go through. So I mean, if there's enough at the end, we'll go ahead and see how much mild steel it could go through, but we're jumping to a different barrier now, and that barrier is concrete. Please, M193, do not disappoint. Let's face it, the M193 is a baseline, and it had a nice shattering effect. Oh, what is this? Oh my gosh, that is one of the penetrators, I guess, from the other round. But anyway, it had a nice shattering effect on the concrete. Let's check out the steel. By the way, this is a 3/8 inch piece of steel, and just a bunch of concrete powder on there. Oh, well, there was a little impact from the bullet, I guess. That's pretty cool. But not cool enough to really do any damage after going through concrete. It's time for the bear claw. Just based on my view through the scope, it really didn't look like that one shattered the block as well as the M193, but I mean, there was a decent shot placement. Let's check out the steel. Really not as much powder on this one, but the bullet did make it to the steel, it appears. Just really didn't do much of anything. I mean, there was such little damage, you could barely even tell the bullets hit there previously. M855 time. Pretty decent shattering effect, but it looks like most of the bullet impacted, you know, I mean, slightly low here. I guess that the steel section deviated from the rest of the impact right there because it is much lower than where everything else was. That is a freaking impressive dent. Obviously the penetration might be slightly curved, but you know, that's not always a bad thing. Mark 318 time. This might just be where copper comes into play, because copper's usually pretty good on concrete. Let's check out the piece of steel here. Oh man, little dent. I mean, it really didn't do much of anything, but I mean, the bullet definitely got to it better than the M193 and probably the Bear Claw as well. Still not really what we're looking for, but maybe you're looking to get your start in gunsmithing, and whether that's ballistics or a deeper knowledge in firearms, make sure to check out sdi.edu using the link in the description below. On to the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time for Carl. Carl, Carl, Carl. Being that there is such a large piece left, that could mean one of two things. Either it went straight through or it did not. So let's see. On the steel, okay, looks like most of the bullet impacted here, or at least most of the fragments. And holy shiteballs, that might be an even deeper crater than the well, maybe not than the M855. Still, I think there's better yet. So let's get to it. The M855A1. Damn it. There we go. Did you freaking see and or hear that? Holy shiteballs. I mean, basically the whole freaking block is left on there, like a little piece chipped off, and that wasn't even where the hole went through. That is a freaking clean hole through there. Oh my gosh. I mean, I kind of expected this because of the M80A1, which is the 308 version, but enough talking. Let's look at the steel. I am not sure what happened here, but I could see most of the jacket, or maybe that's the innards of the bullet that got shredded apart, but let's turn it around. Oh my gosh, there is a freaking dent on the steel here. As you can see, it's a reused piece of steel, but that is certainly more the performance we're looking for, but I think there might be slightly better yet. With the Rogue APTC, if that's even how you pronounce it. Really not sure what to think about that one. I mean, it didn't even leave a clean hole on the concrete like the M855A1, so what does that mean for the steel? Oh, we got a nice little divot there, but that freaking barely looks better than the regular M855. I mean, slightly deeper, but the M855A1 is certainly our winner for this round. So it looks like I spoke too soon on the last round. Apparently, exposed tips do provide more pleasurable penetration on concrete. And Terry, buddy, there's a lot of concrete here. Would you mind giving me a hand? Oh, you don't have hands? Well, that's not a freaking excuse. Concrete and steel are cute and all, but we haven't gotten to our arguably most difficult barrier of the day, also the final one, sand. And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome, but also this 6-inch box of sand has stopped more than you can freaking imagine. So let's see if any of these 5.56 bullets have what it takes. Centered pretty much right on the money, and I love how freaking small these holes are, so I don't need to patch each one of them up. But anyway, let's turn it around and get this out of the way. Absolutely nothing on the back. On to the Bear Claw. And like I said, at least with the forums that I read, they were saying that this is one of the best blind barrier bullets out there. So I mean, it's got to do something best, right? I decided that I'm just going to aim at the same spot and see how well the PWS can stack 7 different bullets. Guys, let me tell you, it is super freaking accurate when you're using one bullet at a time, but obviously 7 different ones, they're probably not going to be grouped at the same spot. But that was pretty freaking close with the Bear Claw. Anyway, everybody, let's turn it around. Not even a dimple or anything. Come on, Bear Claw. Even though it's a bonded bullet, I bet it got ripped apart in there. But let's jump to the M855 and not the A1 this time. All right, where did we hit? Or where did I hit anyway? Oh, there it is right there. I told you I was hitting to the freaking left, and it's actually quite a bit lower than the other shots, but let's turn it around, and we don't even see a steel penetrator. Must have gotten ripped apart by the time it got to the back, or if it even got to the back, I don't know. Mark 318 time. Guys, it just rained out here, and I almost ate it slipping in the mud. I guess Crocs really aren't the best for, you know, traction and whatnot. Alrighty, that one is definitely in the mixer. That's turning out to be a pretty freaking good group, but let's turn it around. And I thought that might be something, but that is definitely nothing. You know whose turn it is now, though? Carl. Let's freaking go, Carl. Better do something good today. And sorry if your name's Carl. Oh man, Carl, you're right on the money. That is actually the spot that I was aiming for all the, well, every one of the shots. I don't think that'll help him at all, but let's turn it around. Turn it around, and what is this, Carl? What did you do? You dirty dog. I think he came out the top. My gosh, that would have taken a freaking crazy deviation path, but that might be the best bullet yet. Wow. Can the exposed tip do any better on the M855 A1? Sorry for the detour. I saw this centipede or, you know, millipede, whatever it is. I saw this down here, but anyway, that shot was not too far away from the regular pack of shots. Definitely not like the regular M855 anyway. Let's turn it around though. Sorry, I thought I saw something. Let's turn it around though and see. Absolutely nothing from the exposed tip. Let's make sure there's nothing on that side and nothing on the bottom. Definitely not. But let's jump to the APTC made by Raug. Honestly, I really don't know how many different AR manufacturers could produce something that shoots 7 different rounds. Well, 6 different rounds in a group like this. I mean, obviously the M855 was a little wild over there, but still, holy crap-oly. And I'm pretty sure this was our shot here. I could be wrong on that, but let's turn it around. Hope for the best. And we are gonna keep hoping because I do not see anything at all. I just can't help but feel that that was a lucky deviation. So let me try one more shot with Carl. My gosh, this rifle. Carl number 1 is right beside Carl number 2. But let's turn it around. Hope that it didn't deviate this time and see what we... Oh, Carl, you're a big disappointment still. And for those of you who are nice enough or interested enough to stick around to this point in the video, first of all, thank you. And let's figure out what that Raug APTC round can go through in terms of steel. Please let me know how it's pronounced. And since I am very limited on ammo, I think we'll just see if it can get through a 5/8 inch piece of monster mild steel. All right, we should be ready to go. Centered pretty much right on the money, and I was actually planning on reusing this piece at a later point, so that might make it slightly difficult, but anyway. Oh, I think that might have went through. Let me check out the pinky. Oh, that is actually pretty impressive for a 22 cal, but let me see if it went Oh, it did not go through. I was seeing a reflection of something on the projectile right there. I guess that is a mirror-like finish, or I can't really tell what it is, but holy crap-oly, it is poking out the back, which is super impressive, but it definitely did not go through, unless you want to count that little tip. Based on what we've seen, the M855A1 is one hell of a bargain for what it can do, but if you want to see an even more extreme 5.56 round, one so insane that I was only able to get one single round, make sure to click this video here.